name's Martin Kavanagh. I'm a vet surgeon. We're here in Glentour Farms. I'm involved with the Tipperary Co-op development program, and we're looking at setting up health systems and health systems management for these development farms. So we have an interesting story with Michael and Martin today. Martin, I just want to ask you a couple of questions. We've done this for the development farmers. We've created this calendar or events for the year. How are you getting on with the vaccines and following the calendar? Has it been useful for you?
Yeah, we found it very useful. We have it up in the parlour there, and you know we're up to date with our vaccinations, and I suppose part of the reason for that we can see it, and we found it very useful. Yeah, very useful.
Yeah, I mean, one of the problems we find with vaccines, with the best will in the world, people buy them, they may or may not store them as well, but to buy them and use them on time and use them correctly. And I think get your own vet's advice on this. Any vet practice can establish a calendar for you. We've added in a few extra things about date for checking non-bullers, mating start date, finished breeding, pregnancy check, milk recordings and so on. So you can put as much or as little as you want into these calendars to guide you. They can be a really useful inside of the parlour, and Martin and the guys have found that job. Currently, Michael, you might give us a bit of indication where your cell count is at and how that, you put in a new machine this year, very impressive. How have you gotten on?
Well, we've gone very well. Cell count has been under 50, I'd say, all year. We're down around 45, we were down as far as 30, I'd say, at the first stage. It certainly has been a big help. We did, as you mentioned earlier, we did have a problem with cell count. Going back a couple of years, we've done a lot of work to improve the position. We did a lot of cluster dipping, a lot of sorting out on cows, and even at the end of the year we let some cows dry early at that time in order to get them to clear up. So we've done a very good job on them now. Some of the cows did go, some of the cows had to go, but we really have it under control. Now we do find the new parlour particularly good, particularly with cluster removers. We stimulate the cows before milking, we give them a rub. If cows are indoors, we pre-spray and post-spray. If the cows are outdoors, we just put some spray on a paper towel and rub the cows, and we find that they're stimulated and ready to let down the milk and let it down very fast. So I think that's a big help with regard to somatics here.
Okay, so a couple of interesting points you said. Unfortunately, yes, some cows have to go when we're dealing with a somatic cell count problem, and I think our goal is to reduce that as much as we can. We don't want to cull our way out of it. We have to have solutions and take out quarters, identify cows, good milking practices. I'm interested with the new machine that you've added in this little bit to the routine in terms of stimulating cows. Is that helping the cows milk faster? Or are you getting out of the parlour quicker even though you've got an extra job?
Well, it hasn't been very well measured with regard to making the comparison one with the other, but it is really, I think, the best way to milk the cows is to stimulate them, you put on the machine, let it down straight away, and the cluster comes off. Especially when you have automatic cluster removers, the cow milks very fast.
It's amazing how quick the cows will empty when they're ready to go. And in a good machine working well, you can actually get your milking done incredibly fast. So that's a real positive result in terms of the machine and in terms of the cell count management. It's always possible, but it's a few years, you got to tackle this over time. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, you just got to get stuck into it and identify the problem and identify the solutions and go ahead and put them in place.
Okay, very good. Breeding this year, you mentioned earlier on the scan results. Martin, how are you happy? How did you go? You do a lot of the AI here.
Yeah, no, we're disappointed this year now. Back along for the last few years, we were 6.5–7% empty rates, which we're happy with. This year, overall, we're up as far as 10%.
How long did you breed for this year? How long was your breeding season?
We shortened by a week, 11 weeks this year.
Okay. So, for me, and remembering a little bit on your cow type and your volume of milk solids you're producing, where are you in milk solids and annual production in the year? Where are you on average in a minute?
What's it? 475.
You're on 475 with a pretty young herd still. Am I correct in saying that?
50% of the herd will be first and second lactation.
Yeah. So we've got a young herd. We're on 475, and I think if we're looking at an 11-week breeding season, all AI, I'm correct saying that, Mark. Yeah.
The first year, every other year we had a bull to mop up. And
Yeah.
we didn't this year. And we felt at the time that we had vasectomized bulls with the cows.
Yeah.
And we felt that we got, we were happy enough that we were getting them all, but we don't know.
Absolutely, and there's a challenge. You're after putting in a couple of breeding challenges for yourself. So to really look at this, and from a vet's point of view, if we're going to look at it, the first place we go is we look at all the data that's involved. So all the serves in, the calving dates in, all the bulls in, and then the yes or no on pregnancy. If we have that on an ICBF profile, we can pull that information down and we can analyze a little bit. I'm always worried that we start assuming things like it's the heifers, or it's our heat detection, or it's embryos, whatever it is. Yeah, and we need to be careful. We don't end up down a cul-de-sac and getting you to do the wrong things. So any of you who are involved in this area in terms of breeding, if we can get data in, we can look at it and we point towards an area. Is it submission rate? Is it heat detection? Is it a conception rate problem? We can identify it better and maybe and do something better. I'm not disappointed with 10%, right? I think you guys are in the A class, and I think when you slip down a little bit, you're kind of saying, okay, we should be doing a bit better. I think you're doing good at 11 weeks breeding, and a flip to AI, I would not be surprised on that one.